guys, I hope you're all having a wonderful day. I'm so excited to share with you this bright and colorful eyeshadow look I created using the Morphe and James Charles palette. Oh my gosh, I went and picked this up today at Ulta and I'm so glad I did because this palette is amazing. The shadows are so pigmented, but they're really easy to blend too. So although this is more of an advanced eyeshadow tutorial, I make sure to really explain what I'm doing and how I'm doing it so that even if you're on the more beginner side, you can still accomplish this look. I hope you guys are really excited and let's get started. Before we do anything, I'm going to go in with a primer and prime my eyelid. Today I'm using the Too Faced Shadow Insurance Primer. I literally just bought this for this look because he was saying you want to use a primer with it. I haven't used a primer in a very long time, but when I use this on this eye, I really liked it. So hopefully you guys do too. And to blend it out, I'm just going in tapping motions. Kind of just starting in the middle of my lid and working upwards. First off, I'm taking a big fluffy blending brush. I'm using the Lancome Blending Shadow Brush, and I'm placing the shade Canvas, that's that top left corner shade, it's like the more nude shade. I'm placing that right along the upper brow bone, just beneath my eyebrow. Next, I'm using the exact same blending brush to put the shade B, which is that bright yellow color, you can't miss it. I'm putting that right in my crease. I'm going to start right in the middle of my crease and then kind of blend outwards from there. When you first put that color on, you want to keep it a little bit lower. What I noticed when I did this eye was I tend to kind of keep pushing it upwards. So as a precaution, I originally placed this a little bit lower, knowing I might go a little bit higher towards my brow when I start blending in those other colors. And as Sister James mentioned, they are meant to be built up. So I've applied maybe about 6 layers of this yellow shade here. It's okay if you don't go on with too much to begin with and then slowly build up the pigment. That's a lot easier to blend out than if you go in with all the color at once. Then I'm taking a clean blending brush. I'm using the brush, the crease brush from Marc Jacobs, and I'm going in with that one hot pink shade, which is called Skip. I actually picked up quite a lot of pigment, so what I'm going to do is just place that right into my crease and start to really build up that pigment. Again, I'm really starting in the middle and then blending it outwards as there's less product on my brush. As you can tell looking at both eyes, it does build up to be a pretty bright pink color, but it takes a little while to build it up to that opacity. And it's okay too if there's a stark contrast between the two colors because you'll be blending them out later with another color as well. After some blending, you'll notice that yellow shade is a little bit more faded than when we first put it down. So what I'm doing is going back in with the very first brush and just blending that yellow shade on top of that pink shade where those two colors meet. To help make this blending process a little bit smoother, I'm taking the shade 518, which is that almost pumpkin-y orange shade, and I'm going to place that right in between that yellow and that pink, just to help create more of an ombre look. On the outsides too, I'm not being super careful, I'm just kind of lightly dusting that outwards, because I don't really want a harsh line here. Going back in with more of that B color, again, just to brighten it up a little bit. If at any point any of these shadows are not as pigmented as you like, go ahead and just pack some more of the color on. I really want to make that pink shade pop, so I'm taking a Morphe M506 brush. It has a very fine tip. I'm going to just lightly pack that pink color in my outer corner. When you're going in with a really pigmented color, it's important that you pack it onto one central location first, and then when there's less pigment on the brush is when you want to start blending it out. Again, if it starts to look too harsh like this again, just know that you'll want to go back in with that same orange shade to blend out those two colors. This look does take some patience when it comes to the blending, so you definitely don't want to rush through it and just feel free to take your time. It does take a while to blend it out to perfection. Another tip for blending is what I do is I put the yellow on one side of the brush, hold the brush flat against my eyelid, and blend side to side. That way I can make sure that the yellow is really going to land right up here as opposed to in the middle. When I'm packing on that pink shade, I'll also bring it in a little bit towards the middle of my eye. I want to kind of create this almost like a rainbow look with my eyelid, if that makes sense. So I'm not going to just leave it out here. I'm going to slightly bring it in towards the middle of my eye because this is where I'm going to pack in the purple color. By the way, these shadows are so pigmented, I barely have to tap my brush in the pan to get a ton of color. Most likely your eyelid is already primed just fine, but I also went and got the Too Faced glitter glue just because I really wanted this to pop. So what I'm going to do is pop a little bit of this right here on my eyelid where it looks like we didn't go in with any color at all. I'm also going to slightly cut my crease with this, even though that's not really what this is meant for, but because it is a little bit more of a gel type texture, it will kind of cut your crease. So I'm going to be doing that. Now I'm taking that gorgeous purple shimmer shade called Artistry and just packing that on where it looks like we don't have any eyeshadow at all. If you want the most color payoff, you want to make sure that you're pressing that pigment in rather than sweeping it side to side. Once I start to get close to where we have those other vibrant shadows, that's when I use my finger to kind of softly blend that Artistry color right on top of that. This is a great way to make your eyeshadow look seamlessly blended without having any sharp edges. Another thing you can do too to help your blending is take one of your fluffy brushes, grab some of that pink pigment, and just start to tap that right on top of the purple shade. It'll make it look really blended. So now you really can't see where that line used to be. So now that we have all our shadows on our upper eyelid, I'm gonna go pop on some false lashes and come right back to show you how I do underneath my eyes, as well as using the black eyeshadow from the palette to make it look like I'm wearing black liner. Okay, so lashes and mascara are both on, and now I'm gonna show you guys how I tightline my waterline using the black eyeshadow from the palette. I'm taking that on a bent liner brush from Makeup Geek. I feel like it really helps me get in to the waterline of my eye. I'm just going to lightly just look up and place that on my waterline. With any pigment that's left on the brush, then I'm going to go underneath my eye and just place that on my lower lash line waterline. I don't want this to be as bold or as dark as my upper waterline, so that's why I'm only using whatever is left on the brush. So as you can see, it really defines your eyes without being too dramatic or too dark. Using a brush that's really dense at the tip, I'm using the Lancome large shadow brush. I'm going to just pack in some color underneath my eye. I'm using that B shade first as my base color. After that B color is packed on, then I'm going in with the Skip color, which is that hot pink color right on top of that. One last step that I totally forgot because it's obviously not even like necessary at all. I'm taking that white shade called Flashback and just popping that into my inner corner using one of the fluffy brushes. Again, you can barely even notice it on my other eye, so you don't need to do it. I just kind of wanted to add some contrast. I also noticed when I lightly ran this over the Artistry shade, it made it a little bit brighter. So I'm going to just very lightly do that. Just kind of brighten it up a little bit. And just like that, you are done with the eye. So now I'm gonna pop on some bronzer, highlight, blush, basically give the rest of my face a little bit more color to match my eyes, and then show you guys what it looks like all together. And this is the finished look. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this bright and colorful eyeshadow tutorial. If you aren't subscribed, make sure you do. Give this video a big thumbs up and leave a comment down below. If you're new to my channel, just know that I love responding to you guys in the comments, so make sure you leave one. I hope you're all having a wonderful day, and I will see you in my next video.